In the theatre of power, mercy is often mistaken for weakness. To climb, to lead, to dominate, you must first learn the art of being ruthless. This is not a call to cruelty, it's a demand for clarity. Clarity about what you want, how far you're willing to go, and what must be sacrificed along the way. The world rewards the bold, not the hesitant. It remembers the decisive, not the apologetic. Machiavelli didn't teach softness. He taught survival, and survival, in a world built on competition, requires a certain kind of cold fire, the willingness to do what others won't. Ruthlessness isn't brutality. It's efficiency. It's the ability to cut through illusion, emotion, and hesitation. It is the removal of excess, of distraction, of the need to be liked. It's about doing what is necessary, even if it isn't pretty. Because the truth is, power is not given to the gentle. Power is not given to the gentle. It is seized by those who stop asking for permission. If you want to build something great, an empire, a movement, a name that echoes, you must first abandon the idea that you owe the world anything except your excellence. Machiavelli wrote not for the comfortable, but for the ambitious. His words were inked in the blood of political betrayal and the silence of exile. And yet, in that darkness, he forged ideas sharper than swords. His characters weren't saints, they were survivors. His heroes weren't innocent, they were effective. Because in the end, history does not remember your virtue, it remembers your results. To be ruthless is to remove the noise, the opinions of the crowd, the fear of being misunderstood. It is to walk into a room and see clearly who is useful, who is dangerous, who is irrelevant, and once you see it, act on it. Don't linger, don't second guess. Ruthless minds do not marinate in doubt. They decide. That decision may not please everyone, but it will carve your path. Look around you. Every major shift in history was made by those who dared to push boundaries. Ruthless? Yes. Misunderstood? Often. But they moved the world. They shaped nations, disrupted systems, shattered illusions. Because while others debated, they acted, and action, consistent, calculated, relentless action, is the currency of the powerful. You don't get to be great by being agreeable. You get to be great by being undeniable, and to be undeniable, you must be willing to disappoint people who expect your silence. You must be okay with being called harsh, arrogant, unkind, because those labels are thrown by those who fear what you might become. Machiavelli understood this. He didn't write to win hearts. He wrote to build rulers. Ruthlessness begins when you stop defending your ambition. Stop justifying your hunger. Stop explaining your dreams. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be respected. And sometimes, respect is born in discomfort, in the moments where you say no, when everyone expects you to say yes. When you hold your ground while others beg you to retreat. When you choose silence over argument and results over excuses, there will be moments where your kindness is used against you, where your forgiveness is mistaken for fragility. That is when you must pivot. Kindness without boundaries is self-sabotage. Mercy without wisdom is an invitation to be used. So be kind, but be sharp. Be open, but be guarded. And when it's time to cut deep. Don't eliminate, because half measures breed half respect. Machiavelli's prince didn't survive because he was loved. He survived because he was feared and respected. That doesn't mean cruelty for cruelty's sake. It means strategic dominance, the ability to control the board, even if you're not the loudest piece, to command the room even when you say nothing. Ruthlessness is the mastery of pressure, the ability to act decisively under fire, to speak clearly when others tremble than before. This world is not designed for the timid. It devours the hesitant and rewards the unwavering. If you want to rise, you must become the person who refuses to flinch, who looks failure in the face and responds with strategy, who sees betrayal not as a wound but as data. Every scar becomes a map, every fall a lesson, but only if you are willing to keep going, sharper than before. To be ruthless is not to hate. It is to detach. It is to love selectively, to trust only those who have proven themselves through consistency, not charm. To understand that loyalty is rare and real allies are tested in silence. Don't waste time trying to be understood. Use your time to build, to strategize, to rise. Because while others explain, the ruthless evolve. You must learn to walk alone. That is the path of power. No one rises surrounded by comfort. You rise in silence, in sacrifice, in discipline. While others sleep, you study. While others party, you build. While others gossip, you execute. That is ruthlessness. Not in what you destroy, but in what you are willing to endure. The sacrifices you accept, the loneliness you embrace, the vision you protect. Machiavelli's wisdom is simple. The world belongs to those who move, those who act with intention, those who do not beg for chances, but create their own. So, if you find yourself questioning your path, remember, you weren't born to please, you were born to lead. And leadership, true leadership, is rooted in your ability to make the hard choice without flinching. If you've made it this far, you already know the truth. Softness will not save you. It is clarity that will. The clarity to choose strategy over sentiment, purpose over popularity. The clarity to walk away from what no longer serves your rise. Machiavelli taught that to be powerful, one must master the duality of appearance and intent. Appear calm, be calculating. Appear generous, be tactical. Appear open, but reveal nothing. The art of ruthlessness is not found in chaos. It is found in structure, in discipline, in consistency. It is the daily act of choosing your future over your feeling, of waking up and asking not what the world expects, but what your vision demands. Because make no mistake, the world is not waiting for your greatness. It is indifferent. And that's exactly why you must be relentless. Ruthlessness is patience with purpose. It is knowing when to hold your tongue and when to strike, when to build quietly and when to announce loudly. It is the refusal to be swayed by temporary emotions or fleeting applause, because applause fades. Legacy endures. And legacy is built in silence, in solitude, in seasons of relentless execution. You must protect your mind from the infection of doubt. Doubt is the enemy's first weapon. It whispers, it waits, and it weakens. But you are not here to be weak. You are here to dominate. So surround yourself with the uncommon. Study the strategic. Distance yourself from the mediocre. Let your circle shrink if it must, but let your standards rise. Do not confuse ruthlessness with anger. Anger is reactive. Ruthlessness is proactive. It is the quiet certainty that you will win, not because of luck, but because you refuse to lose. You train, you learn, you adapt. That's power. That's focus. That's the kind of presence that silences a room. If someone disrespects you, let your success make the state. If they doubt you, let your consistency make them irrelevant. Revenge is not personal, it's strategic. And sometimes the most ruthless move is no move at all. just progression, just domination, just rising so high that they cannot reach you, even if they scream. You have to understand this. People will try to tame you. They will label your ambition as arrogance. They will label your confidence as cruelty. But that's the cost of being rare. That's the price of playing at a higher level. Let them misunderstand. Let them whisper. You don't need their applause. You need your mission. And when you operate from mission, your energy shifts. You stop asking. You start demanding. You stop shrinking. You start expanding. Ruthlessness is the energy of someone who has seen their own potential and refuses to pretend otherwise. It's the refusal to water yourself down just to make others comfortable. It's the decision to become undeniable. Build your life like a fortress, brick by brick, thought by thought. Keep your walls strong and your intentions stronger. Let your results be your weapon, your silence be your strategy. Because the most ruthless people aren't loud. They're focused. They don't chase, they attract. They don't boast, they build. And at the end of the day, the world doesn't care about your excuses. It only sees your execution. So, move. Move with speed. Move with clarity. Move with ruthlessness. Let your name become a symbol of what happens when discipline meets ambition. Let them write stories about how you refused to stop. Let them wonder how you did it. Because that's the final truth. The ruthless don't just survive, they win. And in winning, they show others what's possible. So be ruthless, not to hurt, but to build. Not to break, but to rise. Not to destroy, but to dominate. Be the kind of person Machiavelli would write about. Not because you were kind, but because you were effective. Not because you were liked, but because you were powerful. You owe the world nothing. But you owe your vision everything. Be ruthless.